Our first question comes from Edward. Edward asks a question I'm hearing more and more. Do you have any thoughts on long-term armor building complex? I did the 8 weeks twice a day. So A, ABC double 20Ks, B, high volume press. So you're using the armor building formula. And for those who don't know what we're talking about, go to armorbuildingformula.com, or you can go to danjohnuniversity.com/bookstore. And he says this: I didn't want to stop the ABC because I love it, so I didn't. I run 4 days a week. My 2 days are ABC for 30 minutes plus suitcase carry, suitcase march. The second one is 75 to 100 clean and press, swings, pull-ups, and ab wheel. I add a deload week every 4 to 6 weeks as needed. I've been getting great strength gains, and I am concerned. Okay. What would this constitute junk volume? So, okay, let's get through the whole thing, and then I'll answer them piece by piece. Do I need to be aware of any potential pitfalls? Am I going to plateau? The answer is yes, we all plateau, but we'll move on. How can I continue to develop this under this rubric? First off, let's just deal with the question, can you do the armor building complex long term? A couple of years ago, Tom Furman, who I've got great respect for, reposted something I wrote when I was 52, so that's 16, 17 years ago. And somebody asked advice, if you could do it all again, what would you do and how would you train as an adult? And it's interesting because if you look at what I wrote 16, 17 years ago, basically I used two things, what I now call the running back complex. That's double kettlebell cleans followed by double kettlebell front squats, and a basic armor building complex before it even became the grad workout. So I guess the first point is, Edward, I've been doing what I'm suggesting to you for a long time. Honestly, and I think anyone who trains with me would note that I don't do as many squats as I used to. I have a different set of goals now since I'm not Olympic lifting as much. Only 1 or 2 meets a year now. I'm trying to stay away from all that excessive squatting. And the reason is I'm just a little concerned at my age of just beating down the knees and hips a little bit too much. There's nothing wrong with front squats. There's nothing wrong with squatting. Just where I'm at right now, I will push it during those prep for the Olympic lifting, and then I'll back off. It's funny, I still do goblet squats every day, so I guess I don't squat, but I goblet squat, which might be as interesting as anything I've ever said. So you said about junk volume. So look at the exercises you're doing. You're doing cleans, you're doing press, you're doing front squat, you're doing suitcase carry, you're doing clean and press, you're doing swings, you're doing pull-ups and ab wheel. I'm struggling here really to see what's missing. Maybe some groundwork. But if you're doing original strength between sets or rolling or tumbling or anything, whatever gets you up and down off the ground, including, that exercise I always preach to get back up. You cover everything here, I think. I like it. I do think that 75 to 100 clean and press day is a lot. If you're doing it clean and press, clean and press, clean and press, clean and press versus clean and press variation. You're doing a lot, but that doesn't mean it's a bad thing. You don't include load there. I can't see how you're recovering, but if you feel good, it's going well. I think it's a good idea, my friend. Edward, I like this. Any potential pitfalls? On the B day, the volume of clean and press. It's a lot. If I were you, I would say have a clean and press 40 rep day, a clean and press 60 rep day, a clean and press 80 rep day. And then once every 2 or 3 weeks, toss in that big 100 day. That would be my only advice. And that's just from my own experience. If you're doing clean press, you might be able to get away with those hundreds for a while, but it just adds up. It is nice to have a little variety, little cycling of the volume on the press. Am I going to plateau? Edward and everybody else listening, plateaus are a natural part of life. I'm a huge fan of the book Mastery. And I tell you, when it came out in the Esquire, it was a game changer for a lot of us. And it continues to be the most reprinted Esquire article of all time. I guess you can write Esquire or and they'll print the article off for you. Absolutely fantastic piece of work. And the one thing that I got from that article, and it just still hits me, is you got to learn to fall in love with the plateau, because if you stay on the plateau long enough, pretty soon there's another nudge upward. In the articles, you'll find about obsessives who are constantly trying to force themselves off the plateau, and others, and other styles. But, I plateaued a long time in my Olympic lifts. I plateaued a long time in my discus throw, and I just stayed with it. And then kind of, the old phrase, out of nowhere, I improved. I think that's a very natural way to go through life. Earl Nightingale used to talk about a rut is a grave with the ends cut out. I think there's a difference between a rut and a plateau. If you were to say to me, Dan, will I get into a rut doing this? Then I would say, oh, okay, hang on. You're already probably there, because if you're dreading your workouts, you feel like, that great music from Looney Tunes, dun 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 dun. Every time they showed a factory, I would argue that if you feel like you're going to work every day, instead of like me, I get to go have my training session. I exaggerate, not every day is like that, but since you said plateau, I actually think plateaus are good things, because plateaus means you built up and things flatten out, which is great. That happens in every part of your life. I mean, for those of you who are married, you probably felt like, one way on the wedding day, and weeks later, things change. But did your love and enjoyment of being married get better and better and better and better each and every day? And if it did, well, lucky you, because that's just awesome. It makes me very happy. Kind of like raising kids, it's a joy. And then some of the things that happen aren't so joyful. So yeah, embrace the plateau. The last question here: how can I continue to develop under this rubric? I would start to plan deloads, and then the other thing I would like you to think about is stretching this into not 4 days a week, but week 1 ABA, week 2 BAB. Just the old standard. I do think when I saw you're doing 4 days a week, one of the easiest ways to make a 4-day-a-week workout be a little better is to stretch it into, a week and a half, so to get, do the same thing, ABA, BAB, over a 2-week period. That really seems to help a lot of people not plateau. Can you lift 4 days a week? Yeah, of course you can. There's nothing wrong with it. But for those of us who are thinking long term, 3 days just seems to hit the best place for most people most of the time. Obviously, there's times you have to train every day for a sport or something, a big challenge. But for most of us, week in, week out, 3 really good training sessions a week is better than 6 half-hearted ones. Thank you. Edward, that was a fun question. It's a great way to kick off this week's episode.